All right, let's jump right into this chilling explainer of the supernatural thriller The Malice of Room 13. Today, we are tracking a travel vlogger's absolute descent into a total nightmare at the infamous Black Hill Hotel. What makes this story so incredibly gripping isn't just the ghosts. It's the psychological unwinding of a modern protagonist who thinks he has the entire situation under control. Let's track his timeline, dissect some terrifying visual motifs, and watch as reality itself just completely breaks down. Now, Arjun's own fateful recording instantly hooks us in. Just listen to this translation. Guys, if this video gets uploaded, just assume I survived. Talk about setting the stakes. By starting with this exact quote, the narrative brilliantly sets up this harrowing, found footage perspective. Right off the bat, we're told survival is definitely not guaranteed. It puts us, the viewer, in the super uncomfortable position of being a digital witness to a tragedy that might have already unfolded. So, what is his grand plan? Check into a haunted hotel, record everything, go viral, and try to survive. We see this all the time in modern digital culture, right? The crucial point here is understanding Arjun's initial hubris. He's treating these ominous, legendary warnings about Room 13 as nothing more than a cheap marketing gimmick to fuel his channel's subscriber count. He thinks his camera is a magical shield between him and whatever lurks in the dark. But as we'll see, treating the paranormal as a YouTube prop is his first fatal mistake. Let's look at the timeline. The nightmare officially kicks off at exactly 11:47 p.m. Arjun arrives at the remote Black Hill Hotel late at night and is greeted by this completely deserted reception desk, manned by just one pale, old manager. Now, this incredibly narrow 13-minute window before midnight is absolutely essential. It serves as the calm before the storm, basically isolating our protagonist from the outside world and trapping him in the hotel right before the witching hour strikes. And then the pale manager hands over this old, heavy key to Room 13 with a highly specific, chilling warning. In English, it translates to, "If the door opens before morning, don't look back." Notice how it's not just a generic, hey, be careful kind of warning. It is a highly specific, conditional rule. Specific rules in thrillers always signal to us that there is a defined, lethal logic to the supernatural forces at play. Okay, so Arjun heads up to his room on the 3rd floor, and the atmosphere immediately shifts. You've got this long, dark gallery, all the lights are flickering, but specifically, look at the deep scratches on the door to Room 13. They are on the outside. That completely implies someone or something was desperately trying to claw its way out, not in. And the second he opens the door, that sudden cold breeze and stale smell perfectly complete the environmental storytelling. It's a room that has literally been dead for a very long time. Here is where a terrifying motif gets established, and it really defines the whole nightmare. The stark discrepancy between what Arjun's naked eyes see and what his camera captures. Initially, Arjun looks around, and reality feels totally normal and quiet. But his camera, the very tool he brought to protect and validate himself, betrays him. It captures the bathroom tap just turning on by itself, water echoing everywhere. The technology is literally peeling back the invisible layer of reality. Imagine shutting off that rogue tap, thinking it's just some faulty plumbing, only to look up and see this single, threatening word slowly appearing on the fogged mirror. Leave. It's so incredibly tactile. And what makes it 10 times worse is that the absolute second Arjun reaches out to touch it, it vanishes. It denies him any physical proof of the threat. It's designed to make him question his own sanity right out of the gate. But the psychological games end, and the true horror triggers at exactly midnight. Let's go back to the timeline. This is when the physical haunting begins. All the lights in the room completely cut out, he's plunged into total darkness, and the active camera begins recording the distinct, heavy sound of someone else breathing in this supposedly empty room. The isolation is officially shattered. He is not alone anymore. Then the tension just drastically spikes. Listen to this horrific auditory cue. Kurr, kurr. Imagine the sound of nails slowly scraping against wood, coming from directly beneath the bed you were sitting on. It plays on our most primal childhood fears. Yet, when Arjun bravely leans over the edge and shines his flashlight underneath, there's absolutely nothing there. The entity is asserting dominance, basically letting him know it can manifest anywhere it wants, seen or unseen. Now notice how the haunting here completely shatters the laws of physics. Arjun stands up, and he's totally frozen in terror. But his reflection in the mirror, it moves 2 seconds late. And worse,
It's smiling right at him. This traps Arjun in a room where even his own reflection is an autonomous entity actively mocking him. I mean, he literally can't even trust his own image anymore.
Desperate for a rational explanation, thinking maybe it's just a prank by the hotel staff, Arjun opens his door to 3 slow knocks. But instead of a person, he's met with a completely empty hallway, and this deeply unsettling old doll left right on the floor. And of course, the doll's eyes are positioned to stare directly back at him. It is a classic lure, designed specifically to draw him out of his perceived safe zone and further into the trap. And he falls for the lure. He brings the doll inside, setting up the ultimate reality versus lens nightmare. To his own eyes, he is perfectly alone in the room. But his camera suddenly glitches, and it betrays a horrific truth. A lady in white is standing right behind him. The lens is showing the true, terrifying dimension he has stumbled into, and this just pushes Arjun into a full-blown panic, forcing him to totally flee the room. Section the looping hallway. Nowhere to run. Let's keep moving. Arjun bolts into the gallery to escape, only to find the stairs and the lift are just completely missing. And suddenly, every single door stretching down this endless hallway bears the number 13. Amidst this looping nightmare, the terrifying voice of a little girl echoes out, "Bhaiya, mujhe bahar nikalo," which means, "Brother, please get me out." It's a sinister manipulation of empathy, guys. The entity is trying to weaponize human compassion to bait him into interacting with those doors. But wait, here's the question that should absolutely send shivers down your spine. So who was inside? Think about the spatial logic. Arjun is standing out here in the hallway. The little girl's voice is distinctly coming from inside his room, room 13. If he's locked out here, who on earth is trapped in there? It totally flips the perspective. Maybe the true danger isn't out in the hallway with him, but waiting patiently inside the very room he desperately wants to return to. The suspense hits a boiling point when that old manager suddenly reappears at the far end of the gallery. He screams a desperate warning. "Don't listen to her voice! That is not human!" But before he can do anything else, the manager's own neck violently snaps backward in this gruesome supernatural display, and he just vanishes completely into the darkness. The entity is literally showing Arjun that it has absolute lethal control over everyone in this building. Fleeing the hallway, Arjun barricades himself back inside room 13. He frantically checks his camera footage, just seeking any grip on reality. But here he encounters the ultimate terrifying contradiction. His camera shows a recording of him sleeping peacefully on the bed, yet in reality, he is currently standing up, wide awake, panting in terror, and physically holding the device. Time and reality have completely fractured. The camera isn't just showing hidden ghosts anymore, it's showing an alternate timeline. And this brilliantly leads to our final, massive cliffhanger. Arjun slowly turns away from the camera screen and looks toward the physical bed. And there, lying exactly as the camera showed, is his own exact duplicate. The duplicate opens its eyes, stares directly into the lens, and chillingly claims, "Ab meri bani hai," meaning, "Now it's my turn." It leaves us with such a provocative final thought, doesn't it? In the digital age, if an entity steals your exact image and your camera, who is the real you and who is the ghost? Thank you so much for exploring this nightmare with me. Keep analyzing, keep questioning, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.